And there we go. Welcome to Sales Chatter, the logistics podcast, where we aim to help 10,000 reps hit a million GP. I'm your co-host, Ryan, aka the Logistics Monk. What a beautiful day it is. We took yesterday off and hope everybody had an amazing long weekend in the US. And I got my main man here this morning, Dan. We're wishing him good luck as he's heading to the hospital to hopefully get some amazing news, which is gonna be pretty cool today. But it's kind of going back into memory lane, even with the topic that we're talking about. So I want to introduce you to the bodacious cowboy, president and CEO of RGTX Logistics Solutions, Jeff Dickinson. What is going on this morning, brother?
Hey, my man. Glad to be here under the circumstances. I hope Dan's test comes back really, really good. But with that said, let's get in today's show. Let's go. Let's do this.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
And that's why we're really excited. Jeff, I always kind of say this. We always interview friends. We interview different people. You as well with your journey on your show, connecting with different people from around the world. And I think for us, it's been really, really cool to have this guest on today because she's been somebody who's been so supportive, somebody who that I personally can't even wait to meet when we head up to Accelerate. Even if God willing, maybe we'll meet up before then. But to see somebody who's such a big supporter of what you and I did, empowering women into logistics a couple months ago, and every single show she was there, every single time it was kind of like Lisa kind of seen on here. So. What are your thoughts on Stacey, Jeff? Because I know there's not enough time. It is a 30-minute show, so yeah. I'll give you about a minute or two. But what are your thoughts, my friend?
Oh, no. She has been there for us, Ryan. You know that as well as I. She's a great supporter of the show. Also, about women, empowering women into logistics and trucking. I mean, she's a huge supporter as well. So it's great to have her on board.
Awesome. So with that being said, we want to introduce operations manager at TLC Companies. And everybody who's watching today, you're going to learn something because I know when I was doing my pre-interview with her, it was amazing first and foremost. So you just get to know her as well. But to understand why there's such a big need in our industry for what she does right now and such a value add. So without further ado, we want to introduce Stacey Gibson over to Sales Chatter. What's going on?
Ooh, hi guys. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
So excited to be here this morning.
We're extremely excited to have you this morning. This is something, like we said, it's always really cool to talk about these cool things that we talk about. So, Stacey, tell us a little bit about yourself, about the company being like one of the only PEO companies. When you and I chatted, I had to figure out what is PEO. So, love to learn first and foremost, like we said, like learn about you and then learn what PEO is.
Yeah, absolutely. So PEO stands for Professional Employment Organization. It's a lot of people are familiar with them. They've been around for a long time. TLC Companies has been around for going on 40 years. 1985 is when they opened. But like you said, we are trucking and transportation specific, and we are the only PEO in the country that does that, or that is, the trucking specific piece. So, so we work with clients all across the United States, primarily in, HR, work comp, benefits, payroll taxes, safety, compliance, all the things with trucking and all that administrative stuff that nobody likes to do, but you have to do it. So we kind of take that burden on for our clients and help them out so they can really focus on growing their business and making sure that their operations stay moving. Right? We need to keep trucking moving.
Absolutely.
And like you said, I want to acknowledge exactly what you said. And Jeff, you are such a big supporter of this as well. Is for me, what I just heard Stacey say is like, work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
You're talking about the tasks that people they have to do, but they don't want to do. So why wouldn't you go to a company and work with Stacey? First of all, she's an amazing person, but her team as well to kind of take off that burden. What are some of the when your team talks to like your clients and your customers? What are some of the things that they say and before the fact and after the fact of working with you guys?
Oh gosh, first off, obviously, just again, some of that administrative burden that we take off because so many trucking companies, the majority of them are kind of small to medium, right? We've got the big players in the game, but those small to medium companies are the ones that really make up the majority. And as you guys probably know, and what you're doing now, where you've been before, we all wear multiple hats in those companies, right? You're not just the HR person. You're not just the safety person. You're 5 or 6 things, right? And it just kind of depends on the day, depends on the minute of which one of those hats you put on. So we allow people to, take off some of those hats and, like I said, really focus on what their core role is with their company and, making sure the drivers have what they need, making sure they're staying safe out there, making sure they're, able to grow their business. And that's the feedback we get. They certainly appreciate the expertise that we bring to the table. Like I said, being trucking specific, we are up to date and on top of everything trucking, right? All the new regulations, anything going on, state specific and federally, anything going on. And so, we make sure that our clients are aware of that too, because that's another piece, that it's like, you just don't necessarily have time to keep up with all of it. So we do that for them and make sure that they're in compliance. So.
Yeah, with the industry being as volatile as it is right now, with a lot of carriers exiting the market, and we have a few that are entering the market. How is that affecting what you do, and what have you seen over the last several months?
Oh, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties right now, Jeff. I'm so sorry.
No,
Could you say that again?
Can you hear me now?
It's like spotty. I'm sorry.
Do you want to? I don't know if she can check to see if she can fix her audio.
Yeah, as Jeff is as we're working on some technical, that's why we're a live show, right? That's what's really important to us, and we'll figure that out. But one thing that you said that I thought was really important just now, Stacey, was that keeping on top of like regulations, keeping on top of everything that's state by state, because everything is differently. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I know myself when I was kind of getting in the industry and doing oversize, one permit might not be permitted for another state, and understanding that, and that's a completely different side of what they kind of do right now. But I love that you said that there's the people who are in the industry and they want to work with your team, and you guys bring that value add. What can you give a little bit of a mindset as we're kind of getting to the next question here? But can you give a little bit of mindset of how did trucking find you? Like how did being working at your first PEO? Where did this all come from?
She can't hear you either.
All right, so she fixes her.
So we go to option B. Oh, you're out too.
Oh no, I just gotta mute myself here. But Jeff, it's an important topic that I think it's when we think about the small to mid-sized carriers that Stacey works with. What are your thoughts? Like everything that they have to do. Somebody who's a brand new carrier and they have so many hats to wear. You use something like Stacey services at TLC. What kind of things can you kind of think about? Yeah, this is Tuesday. This is Tuesday. It's from.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
I got that. Yeah, it depends on the startup and what they're trying to accomplish in the first couple of months. I wouldn't really see that being an issue coming out of the gate, but as they start getting more clients on board, now they have to start thinking about the backroom operations, who they're going to go out to. Are they reliable? Are they responsible? Do they know the position like the back of their hand? And people like that, since Stacey is in that PEO type of business, which no one else does, I think she would be a really good point person to go to figure that all out. Because it sounds to me that Stacey goes from cradle to grave and gets everybody in the right place at the right time.
100%. And you want that. You want somebody to kind of help you. And I think about just in life and just talking to the audience as well. Look at all facets of your life and see, hey, what can I delegate to somebody else so that I can take that time and be more efficient in my career? Right. For like for myself too, it's like I look at myself being a freight broker. It's like, okay, maybe if I hate making cold calls, Jeff, maybe I'll hire somebody to make cold calls for me and I kind of come on as a closer. Or if I hate kind of doing invoicing, there's so many like resources out there, those professional employment opportunities, and just kind of work on efficiencies and being better for your customer. I think like when we're talking about empowering women into logistics, it's kind of when you and I did the first week of HR, everybody talked about, a lot of women get pigeonholed into HR in when it comes to logistics. So something like this expands upon that. What are your thoughts on something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Uh, Women a long time ago used to be in that admin position type, like you mentioned, becoming the human resource person, but they didn't get involved into all the other aspects 20, 30, 40 years ago. And now they're exploring that, and a lot more women are getting involved. Look how many more women are now truck drivers. We talked about that for a long time, and that industry is growing. They're getting more into the director roles, the VP roles, the president roles, CFO roles, COO roles. We could just keep on going on. So, we are moving in the right direction. I love seeing that. I think it's about time. And what are your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, I see the evolution of growth, and it's just people like Stacey who's just pushing this flag forward, right? And we're having that collaboration. You and I have talked about that. We're going to be at Accelerate
Yep.
Women in Trucking in November, and just to see everybody in person. You and I are both virtual, right? And it's kind of cool to kind of see everything that's kind of happening here. As Stacey, are we back?
I think so.
Yay! See, this is all the
There
technical
you go.
difficulties.
Woohoo!
Okay.
I love technology, right? It's great.
Love
No,
technology.
no worries. No worries.
So,
Woo.
welcome to Sales
Okay.
Chatter. The no, I'm just
Yeah.
joking. We won't sign off, but
Right?
we're happy to have you here. And Jeff, if you want to kind of go over what you kind of mentioned before, I was
Yeah, going back to what you said, Stacey, the market right now is highly volatile, and there's a lot of carriers going out of business. There are also some that are entering the business. What are you seeing on your side as far as what your company does, and how has that affected what you do?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, like you said, definitely there's been a lot of attrition in the industry, right? But thanks to Data Days, I am learning a ton. So if y'all are not watching on Wednesday, set your calendars for that one too, because you're going to learn a lot. So yeah, obviously we saw a lot of people, a lot of owner operators get in, 2019, 2020, right? We saw a huge increase of people looking at the money that was being made and that could be made out there at the time. And, like a lot of people, when you see something like that, it's like, hey, I want a piece of that, right? How hard can it be? I'm just going to buy a truck and haul some freight, right?
Right.
And it's like, gosh, if it were only that easy, right? So with what we do, primarily, we don't deal so much with a lot of the owner operators or the heavy owner operator companies. We really deal with companies that are, really company driver heavy. They may have some owner operator, percentage of that, but what we did see from those and the ones that were that had owner operators, we saw a lot of those owner operators coming over to the company driver side. If they wanted to stay with that particular carrier, liked what they were doing, like the routes and everything else that they had, they were coming on as company drivers. So we did see an increase from that. So luckily, those folks weren't leaving the industry. They were just getting rid of their equipment and, coming on in that way. We've certainly seen some of the smaller carriers be acquired. There's been a lot of acquisition going on out there, right? A lot of these mid to large size carriers are, kind of scooping up some of these smaller guys that maybe are struggling, wanting to get out. We've seen a lot of carriers that, owned and operated by, father, grandfather, and, the kids, grandkids are just like, we don't really want anything to do with it. Grandpa's ready to retire and get out of here. So, they've kind of got themselves on the market as well. So we've seen a lot of that, a lot of back and forth. And, and from those acquisitions, we've seen some increase on our side, because our clients are telling those carriers that are buying them, like, hey, you need to talk to these people because what they do is great. And, you would probably really benefit from their services. So, we're not only maintaining the client, that we had after they're being acquired, but we're potentially also signing on, whatever that parent company is that's taking them on. So that's been really good for us.
So here's the big question. Empowering women into trucking. What are you seeing on your side as far as percentages, women versus men who are getting into the trucking industry and getting behind the wheel per se?
Sure. So, we see more and more of an increase in that constantly, right? Right now, I think 14% of over-the-road drivers are women. So, and that's up, gosh, I can't remember. I'm sorry, Ellen, if you're watching or if you watch later, I apologize for not remembering the statistic, but I know just, not that far back, right? It was 4%. So, right. We really are breaking into the industry, and again, that's just over the road drivers, right? That's not your local regional, a lot of these, the short trips, the in-town trips, the Amazon drivers that Ryan always says to tell about the show, so they're getting into the industry, right? And, not only on the side of driving, but, again, all of the office pieces, right? You're seeing a lot of women safety managers, safety directors, you're seeing a lot of women get into that. There's a lot of tech now, right? I mean, we've seen just over the last couple of years, the technology that has come into trucking has been huge, right? I mean, probably the most that's happened in the industry in a long time. It just wasn't there. It wasn't really needed, right? Or thought it wasn't needed, but it's been pushed onto the industry now in the last couple of years with ELDs, with the clearinghouse, things like that. So, and we're going to see more of it, right? I mean, it's a thing. It's going to happen. We just have to be ready for it. So, but yeah, I mean, I just see so many women more and more getting into it. And it's awesome to see it.
So what's the magic potion, if you will, that's driving more women into becoming truck drivers that we haven't seen in the past? As you mentioned, not too long ago, it was like 4%. Now it's up to 14%. I mean, that's a huge increase, right? So what's driving that?
Gosh, I mean, I think this totally would be my personal opinion. But, I think it's just the changes in the industry. Again, I think the perception of the industry is changing. The stigma of the industry is changing. I think, again, the women that are out there doing it, their voices are being heard more because of organizations like Women in Trucking. So, before, women that didn't consider it or even realize it was an option for them, there's more exposure to it now. So I think companies are doing a much better job of creating a culture and an atmosphere that is more welcoming to women. I think those things are a huge piece and a huge part of it. And, clearly there's a ton of other factors, but yeah, those, in my opinion, I think those are two of the main reasons that we're seeing that.
And then that's amazing that you said that, because I think factors now when you're talking, I'm thinking about even for our society right now, like, gone like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we're different, right? I think
Oh,
more
yeah.
women now, and this is just like you said, your own opinion, but I think more women now, like, they go to school, they get their education, and they're not pigeonholed in, hey, I need to get married, I need to have kids, and all those in different, do all
Exactly.
those different things, right? So I think
Yeah.
being able to, and people are getting married at a lot later age, I can see now, right, as opposed to our parents. So they have that flexibility. Like, why not me? And you mentioned
Yeah.
technology, and there's technology on the opposite way too. Jeff, I know you wouldn't use it, but like, I use TikTok a lot, and I see a lot of female drivers on TikTok, documenting the process. Like, hey, this is how you do a shower stop, or like, here's how I do my pre-inspection. And it's not just the truck driving alone. I think it is a viable resource out there. Like, Jeff, when we had that amazing, I forget, she worked for international company during our weekend. She was just talking about, the ability for her to kind of go to different divisions and travel the country and travel the world. And you can sell that dream now. You can sell that dream that you can really become what you want to really become. And the question I kind of had for you, Stacey, I know women in trucking is such a big thing for you, because every time I see a post, every time I see anything, you're heavily involved. And kudos to you for wanting to be a part of that. What does that organization mean, and what does it mean for kind of getting more voices heard? Because, like I said, full transparency, I didn't know who you were until we did our Women to Logistics. So you probably caught our show. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, oh my God, why not? Right? But then we saw you kept coming. Yeah, exactly. We were like best friends. But can you give your insight why things like that? Is that something maybe back to like when you kind of got started in the industry that you wish that it was around?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. So I've been in the industry now for 8 years. Feels like forever, right? I feel like I've always been in it, in a great way, right? Like, it's certainly not an industry I personally ever thought I'd ever be in. Not for any specific reason, just never considered it, right? And I think, again, that's probably the case for so many women. It's not that we poo-pooed the idea of trucking, right? It's just, you just didn't consider it. So yeah, I mean, the main purpose in a nutshell of Women in Trucking is to support and promote women in trucking, right? And that's absolutely what they're doing. Their mission of getting that out there and getting companies and carriers and, everybody to really understand, like, hey, this is going to be good for your company. I mean, I think, again, statistics, I'm not Dean, so I don't have all these statistics in my head, but, women are, it's proven that women are safer drivers. They're safer. They care for the equipment better. They have less violations on them. Not to say that the men are doing a bad job. They're certainly not. It's just, it's just our nature, right? It's just the makeup of how we do things and how we handle things. But yeah, I mean, again, just everything that Women in Trucking does, all of the resources they have for everybody out there. I mean, if you're not a member, at least go to the website, right? Check it out.
Yes, do that.
There are, they have mentoring programs. You can sign up to have a mentor. You can sign up to be a mentor. They have a blog. They have, webinars. They have trainings. There's so much out there that they do. I mean, Ellen has done an amazing job creating and building this organization, right? And, Ellen just retired, and Jennifer Hedrick is coming in as the new CEO. I think she's going to do an amazing job. If you guys have an opportunity to have her on the show sometime soon, I would, recommend having her.
Take her name down, right?
Yeah. I can send it to you. But I've had a couple opportunities to chat with her, over the last couple of months too. And I mean, she is, she's definitely picking up the reins from where Ellen is leaving off. And I mean, she is just like, on a mission, just like Ellen. So I think there are even greater things ahead for the organization. And I am super excited to be any kind of part of it that I can be, even if it's just, the cheerleader in the back,
Always some
I'm
flags.
ready to go.
It's just a testament to Ellen and how she's kind of built like the Women in Trucking Association as well. Like to have that succession plan, and able to kind of like some people want to kind of gatekeep and no, this is my baby. I don't want to give this up, but to see that there's growth, and I know every single year there's year over year there's just exponential growth, and like I said, we're excited to kind of see when we're going in November. But coming back to yourself, because I think it's really important for the people to understand like why do you want to get involved with something like this?
With Women in Trucking, oh my gosh. Well, like I said, one, I believe in the mission, right? I mean, if you don't believe in the mission of an organization or a company, I mean, what are you doing there? So yeah, I mean, it's something that I feel, I can really get behind. I feel like, personally, I feel like even if it's a small piece, I can make a difference with it, right? I can help the mission in some way. Don't need the, recognition or not, I don't need people to know, everybody to know who I am or anything, but just, if I can help one or two people, because that's how it starts, right? You plant the seed, right? You plant the seed and, just watch it grow. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just, I talk to anybody and everybody that'll listen about it. And hopefully, they're able to become members. You guys have helped out. We had so much fun. Was it, a month or so ago? I was just like, I was so pumped during that show and during that week. I was just like, let's just give out memberships. Let's just give them away. So was so excited to do that and continue to do that, because I feel like, if somebody just has the opportunity, just to see, right? Just see what it's about and experience it. I think, if you turn away and say, I got absolutely nothing out of that, it was a waste of my time. Wow. I'd like to talk to that person because I really like to know.
I don't know how they can say something like that.
Yeah. Because I guess, my question to them is say, well, what did you put into it? Right. Because you get out what you put in. Right. And so, and I've never heard anybody ever say that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've found it to be, they have their mission, they have their goals, and I've seen them, they don't just talk the talk, right? They walk the walk. And that's what's made me say, yep, I can get behind this. I can get behind this. I want to, and I want to be a part of it. So that's what I've done.
Well, I believe that the membership right now still is at 85% women, 15% men, and that's growing. And I hope that we can support that mission to get more men involved, to support the women who are delivering our goods every single day, like the men out there as well. I mean, they do a great job. I've known a lot of women in the trucking industry over my tenure in the industry, and they've done a fantastic job. And one of the things why they're a little bit better is that they're very meticulous. They are like perfect on that side. Everything is in order. Let's put it that way. So they do a great job, and I appreciate them. And like I did the last time, listen, if there's two guys out there that want to join, prove to me that you've joined, and I'll pay your membership for a year. So, you can hit me up, send me a DM, and show me that you became a member, and I'll pay for your first year. Two guys. So
that's awesome.
No worries. The other thing too is that what I want to ask you is that you said you fell into the industry 8 years ago. What did Stacey want to do before she fell into the industry?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm still trying to decide what I want to be when I grow up.
I think we all are.
Don't worry, we all are too. We're trying to figure out this. Hey, are we good at logistics? Are we good at podcasting?
Yeah.
We're trying to figure that out.
So that, I mean, that's kind of where I am. I've worked in multiple industries prior to coming into trucking. Loved everything I've done. To me, it's just everything. It's just a new adventure, right? And that's what it was. I'm like, this is a new adventure. Yeah, let's see where this goes. Let's see, what can I learn from it? What can I, gain from it? What can I add to it? And so that's just kind of the approach that I took. Yeah, and just always looking for that next challenge, that next adventure, and just see where it leads.
I think that's so important, to continuously learn. And
Mhm.
I'm so impressed by everything that you do, Stacey, because it's like, okay, you've got your goals and everything that you want to accomplish, but
Mhm.
you're helping people, attain their goals. You're helping, whether it be at TLC, you're helping these small to mid-sized companies help. And one thing that I really like that you said was like, hey, we have like these company, like the old company, and we can get the parents set up. It's like you're working that referral. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jeff kind of likes referrals. I don't know. He likes to work from the inside out. I don't know if you've ever got Jeff on a, yeah, I know, like from there, but
Not true.
No.
Stacey, this kind of brings up a point, when we were all fired up and then you kind of made that announcement, hey, I'll take care of memberships. So that's actually a perfect segue. This Friday, you'll actually be joining us on Fun Day Friday.
Yes.
Jeff will be as well with Dan, and we're actually going to be celebrating our 400 followers on our LinkedIn page. So we've got some giveaways coming up. We're going to have some fun. And for us, it's just to kind of lay back a little bit. I don't know if you've been catching the previous Fridays, but we've been going a little bit too deep. So we'll have a little bit more fun from there.
There have been some
Stacey,
serious conversations.
Yeah. It's kind of, I know from there. But Stacey, how can people get a hold of you? You're an amazing person, and I think if you're not connected with yourself on, you're definitely doing yourself a disservice. So plug your stuff away, my friend.
Woo, woo, woo. Yep. Well, obviously, I'm on LinkedIn, so please connect with me there. Contact information is there. Email address sgibson@tlccompanies.com. So certainly reach out. Love to share stories, help with any questions anybody might have. Would love to talk about our company and services if you're interested. I just hit me up anywhere on there. Instagram. I don't do tons of social media, but LinkedIn I think is probably the best way to reach me.
Definitely. So definitely hit her up on LinkedIn. So we can't thank you enough for coming out this morning and spending your time with us and supporting us and supporting everything that kind of happens, because, we if you want to go far, go alone. Sorry, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. Right. And I truly believe that with you here. Jeff, I can't thank you enough for filling in this morning. You've got a big day ahead today. Can you just tell us what's going on in your life?
Yeah, this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Storytelling Chronicles, Life Lessons and Logistics. I got a great guest, Ed Burns he's the CEO of Burns Logistics. So check us out. We'd love to have you on board, and jump into the comments as well. We'd love to answer any of those questions that you may have.
Awesome. So we're all looking forward to that. So this is Sales Chatter, the logistics podcast where we aim to help 10,000 reps hit $1 million GP. If you're catching this for the first time, we do have our YouTube page, which we definitely do promote quite a bit. And, as Stacey kind of mentioned here, but share this with a friend, a neighbor, your spouse, anybody around your block, and most importantly, your Amazon driver who's bringing you your packages today, because we all know you placed an order last night for Amazon Prime, just like I should have done some with some AirPods. But with that being said, I got one last question for you, Stacey, as we wrap up today. What is your message to the world?
Oh my gosh, just find something that you're passionate about, support it, grow it, be it. Just, do what you love, right?
Amen.
I love that. So tomorrow is Data Day with Dean Croak. So Cowboy's going to join us back tomorrow along with Dan. So with that being said, everybody have an amazing day, and everybody show up at 2:30 to support Jeff and his amazing podcast. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.